Good day, everyone. This is John from 3D Create Tutorials, and I thought I'd do a couple of quick, basically modeling exercises for those that are trying to learn. So here we go. So we're going to create something like this in just a minute here, and another object. So let's get going. Brand new file. So new file. Say yes. Okay. So we're going to start off here. I'm going to make sure I put this on too, so I can see what I'm doing. And we're going to get rid of the cube, of course. We're going to start off with a sphere, and we're going to make sure we have the grid. Snap to grid turned on. So we're going to go out and create a nice little sphere here. And I'm going to go with basically, we'll go 2. And then I'm going to also go in a little bit and zoom in. And then I'm going to also change the grid now to a different size. So I'm actually going to change this down to half of that. And then I'm going to go to the side view here. This is just a real simple exercise. So I'm going to start off with a actual center circle. And I'm going to create it right here. Basically, it's about half the size of the original sphere. And I'm just going to go ahead and go to this right here. We could also do a shortcut key. Well, actually, Resolve does not have a shortcut key. You can create one if you want one. So we can go here, select that. And we're going to select the line here and just go straight up. So basically, it makes a complete radius around this ball or sphere. So let's go ahead and OK. Now we got this and this. We're going to do a simple Q to cut that piece out and hit OK. All right, so real simple to do, right? So we're going to go now and change this. We're going to go ahead and delete this. And we can go in and just select these 2 edges here, select the Shift key, and pull this out. I'm going to take the grid snap off and just slowly pull this out, something like about here, just to give it a nice form. Hit OK. Let's go back to the side view here, and we're going to do this again. This time we're going to bring this down even smaller, and we're going to do another circle. And we're going to start off with, the snap to grid, and we'll put it right at the center spot right there. Cool. Now we can take this one here, Shift D, G, and then hit the F key right at the center here, and we're going to bring this up about here. And we can do one more, Shift D, G, F, and we can do one about actually I'm going to bring this one in a little bit more. I'm going to try to just follow the line here, right underneath this. I'm going to redivide this out, so hit the G key, F, and I'm going to just kind of follow this curvature here. Let's get a little closer, see what we're doing. I'm going to get about between the 2 spots right there. Perfect. So now we got about the same distance. This one's a little bit off. So G key, F key, hit the center spot here, and just move it just a smidgen, just a little bit. Okay, cool. So now we got these 2. We can select these 2 here, and we can use the mirror tool. Simple. Mirror. And we're going to use the top downward, hit OK. All right, so now we got these forms. And what we can do now is just select all these with the line. So we'll select each one of these. Shift key. And again, we're going to use the revolve tool here. So click this, hit revolve. Again, select this and go upward. Here we go. Okay. And now we can go in and select this main object. And we can select each of these with the Shift key. And hit the Q key. So what it's done now is created a bunch of cuts here, and just hit OK. Now we can get rid of these other lines here. Go ahead and select them on the side if you want. And now let's do some nice fillets on this to make it look nice. So select this, this, all the way around. We're going to basically do the same amount of smoothness and this one too. And then we're just going to pull this out with a plus. Now I would suggest taking the snap to grid off and just slowly rotate this out so it's nice and smooth. But right about there. Now, a simple thing to do is you can put it on render mode. And then we can go over to the assets here. I'm going to select aluminum. So let's go and select it. Select aluminum. And that gives you a nice, metal look. We can also go in here and hit the M key. And we can change the color if we want to, something, a little bit less colorful. And we could also bring up the lightness here as well. So let's go with that. We can make this all metal, bring up the roughness a little bit less. Don't want it that rough. We can also take this off if we do not want metal looking. We just want more of a plastic look. It just depends what you want. I'm also going to go back in here and change this to like a copper. Yeah, that looks really cool. All right, so we can take this off now, and we got pretty much the same thing that we just created. So that's the first example of creating an object with the actual tool for Evolve. Really easy to use. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so let's go with the next lesson. So we're going to go and get rid of this again, and we're going to do a new one. New file, hit OK. And we're going to start off with this. Now we're just going to put these back on. And we're going to keep it just the way it is. So let's go ahead and start working this. So let's go and select the face tool here. And we're going to bring this down. Something like that. Hit OK. And we're also going to take this one here and just kind of bring it out a little bit. So we're going to actually have, I'm going to Control Z. I'm going to bring this one out just so I don't have to rotate it later. Bring that out like that, just like this. And then we can go ahead and kind of just make a nice little bit of a radius on these sides here. So we can select both of these. It's nice to have these turn edges on, so see what we're doing. Let's pull this out, and we're going to go on plus, and not too much, something like about 2.4 or 0.246. And again, we can hit OK or Enter, which is fine. So this one will be less aggressive. So we're just going to pull this out just a smidgen, like that, just to give it a nice radius. Okay, cool. We're going to the side here. We're going to create a disk. We're going to do something like this. I'm going to go inward to about here. I'm also going to take these and rotate them with a nice fillet. So go ahead and hit the B key and make sure that's off. And we'll do this on the plus. Something like that. All right. So I'm going to do this intentionally, extruding this. So we're going to hit the G key, and we're going to use the red here, just bring it out, hit OK. We're going to use the face tool now, select this, and bring this through. Hit OK. Now I'm going to go in and select this one and this one. I'm going to do a Q key. I'm going to hit the Shift Q. And I'm going to hit the OK button. Cool. I'm going to get rid of this now, delete it. Get rid of this as well. And I'm going to start creating some colors. We can go back here now. And we can do another simple square, and we'll bring this out to about here. Points. We can do this. B key. Rotate this out nice and make sure it's on the plus. Kind of like that. Hit OK. And again, we could take this and extrude it downward into the space, just like that. Now I can take this one here, G key, and move it upward so it's actually through the space. I want to make sure it's on both sides of this. There we go. All right, so very easy to do. Hit OK. Hit this one first. Hit this one. Hit the Q key. And we're good with that. Let's go back in. We're going to hit the line tool. Select this one here. Shift. And we'll pull this out on the plus. Again, not too much, about there. Hit OK. And I don't want to do this one either. Again, it's best to really do those small fillets at the end. So let's go ahead and stick with what we have here. Pick the surface, And we're going to hit the Shift S key, and this creates our CVs. Now it's just 4 points the first time, so just do it again and again. I'm going to do this a few times. I'm going to try to get some nice controls here. So I'm going to do this 2 more times. And we're going to stick with, and I'm going to just select these ones right here, just like this. Also take these ones here as well. So select the Shift key. And we can just go ahead and hit the G key again, bring this upward. Control Z, missed one. Shift key, G key, bring this upward. And now I'm going to see if I can actually take this and rotate it. So hit the side view here. We're going to hit the R key, V key right there, and then we're going to pull this upward like that. And we can go to the side view here. And one kind of thing we can do here is just go in and select these ones here. G key, and just bring it down just a smidgen so we can get a nice little rounded section here. I might even take this down just a little bit as well, just to give it a nice rotation. And this one here, okay, we can bring this up just a little bit. So it has a nice, smooth, rounded, fall off. Hit okay. Cool. We can go back to this. And this real easy way to create forms to give your stuff a nice look. Okay, so let's go now and do these fillets. And we'll pull this out with the plus. Not too much. I'm going to type it in like 0.01. That's much better. Hit OK. Enter. Yeah, that's the basic way to create some interesting forms. And then we can go back in here and just add something else maybe. So we can go here. We can go to this section here. We can do a G key, move it over, just like this. Bring it upward. And again, hit the face tool after we hit OK. Bring this down into the space, just like that. And then we can hit OK. We could also go back in and first hit this one, Q key, and we're going to do Shift Q again. Hit OK. And we can delete this. Real simple. And now we can select these lines. And we're going to make this nice and rounded on the plus. Don't want to go too much. Let's say something like that. Hit OK. And this one. We can do the opposite way. Something like that. And we can also go back here. Shift. Well, actually just do it. M key. We'll make this more of a blacker color. Just like that. Metal all the way up. And rough this down. All right, cool. That's a real simple way to do something. We can change the colors here. Let's go ahead and go with more of a aluminum at the M. Go with blue. Maybe add one more thing here. We can do something like with the rectangle tool. We can do something really small. First of all, let's hit OK. Rectangle tool. We can turn these back on. Something small like that. Again, same thing. We're going to create points over on the tip here. B. Just a little bit. Hit OK. And then we can do something like this. Bring it down just a little bit. Hit OK. Go to the side view here. See what we're doing. G key. We can bring this in. So about there. And we can bring this inward. About there. Top view. We can this first. And make it nice and rounded. Just like that. And now we do the array. Go back to the top view here. Zoom out. And bring this back in. Just like that, okay? So first of all, select this. Select these. Q key. Hit OK. That's simple. Might make this a little bit lighter. M key. M key. Make this lighter. Just like this. And there we go. And we can show this. Like I said, just real simple ways to create different forms real easily. Okay, so one more thing I'd like to add to this is just to create a nice beveled area inside this thing. So we can select, make sure we turn this on so we see what we're doing. Take this off. And this way we can really dial this in. So select this with the Alt key. And we're going to hit both sides are selected. And we can start pulling this out a little bit. So we're going to make it a nice fillet, just like that. And I'm going to do the same thing to the opposite side. So select this right here, Alt key, and it selects all of it, B key. And we can zoom out a little bit, and we can pull this out. This will just give it a nice look. I'm going to do this on the plus though. Just like that. Hit OK. There we go. Now we can go back to this. And this really stands out now. We can take this off. And we can do something like this, just to give some understanding of the forms. Just real simple things to do. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Please subscribe. I'll keep doing quick exercises like this to kind of get, the creativity going. All right, thank you. Okay, so one more thing I'd like to add to this is just to create a nice beveled area inside this thing. So we can select, make sure we turn this on so we see what we're doing. Take this off. And this way we can really dial this in. So select this with the Alt key. And we're going to hit both sides are selected. And we can start pulling this out a little bit. So we're going to make it a nice fillet, just like that. And I'm going to do the same thing to the opposite side. So select this right here, Alt key, and select all of it, B key. And we can zoom out a little bit, and we can pull this out. This will just give it a nice look. I'm going to do this on the plus though. Just like that. Hit OK. There we go. Now we can go back to this. And this really stands out now. You can take this off. And we can do something like this, just to give some understanding of the forms. Just real simple things to do. All right, thanks for joining me. So subscribe so I can continue to get these quick exercises. All right, thanks.